For most of us, telehealth seems like a fairly new concept, but the truth is telemedicine or telehealth has been around for a very long time. Recently, because of the COVID pandemic, people have moved to telemedicine, to telehealth, because they can provide medications, they can provide healthcare without having to expose the doctor or the patient to COVID or other potential diseases. There was sort of this emergency switch over to telemedicine, telehealth when COVID first happened, and we learned a lot about telehealth and realized that for appropriate things, telehealth is a very safe and a very convenient way to do healthcare and to provide medicine. It's really nice for the patient because they don't have to make an appointment and interrupt their day and go wait in a waiting room for an hour and then wait in the little room for another half an hour before the doctor finally comes in. And then they've got to go to the pharmacy and they've got to wait for the prescription to be filled. And it can be a real hassle to go to the doctor's office and the pharmacy and negotiate the healthcare system in the traditional way. The nice thing about telehealth is it can be done from your house. You never have to leave your couch. You can get on your phone or your tablet or your computer and you can have your doctor's appointment, and medications can be provided to the pharmacy electronically and mailed to your house. You never really even have to leave your house, and you can get quality health care. What we learned over the last couple of years is for the correct types of medicine, telehealth is a very safe and convenient way to get health care. Now, obviously, if you need surgery, you're not going to have surgery over telehealth. So we have to provide telehealth for the right types of medical problems. It turns out hormone replacement therapy, treating the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, is really the perfect thing for telehealth, because standard of care is that you don't need a physical exam and you don't need any kind of testing to safely provide hormone replacement therapy for patients that have symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. And so it's great for telehealth because this can be done over the internet. It can be done through telemedicine. You don't need to actually touch somebody or put a stethoscope on somebody. You don't need to do any blood tests or saliva tests. You can talk to each other and figure out the right thing and safely provide hormone replacement therapy and fix the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause. So this is a perfect venue for hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy is the perfect thing to use telehealth to treat. There's different varieties of telehealth. There's what's called synchronous telehealth and asynchronous telehealth. Synchronous telehealth means that it's real-time interaction between the doctor and the patient. Usually it's done through video chatting. You know, we all know Zoom now. Hey, you're on mute. So it can be done through Zoom or a Zoom-like platform, or another platform with video interaction. It can also be done on the telephone. But I think it's most commonly right now synchronous telehealth done through some type of video chatting. There's also asynchronous telehealth, and asynchronous telehealth is where the doctor and the patient are interacting, but not in real time, and it's usually done through messaging. So you usually can start with a health questionnaire. Like we use a dynamic questionnaire that will change depending on your answers to the questions, so we can dig deeper where we need to, but we don't have to waste your time where we don't need to. And then there's messaging back and forth for questions for the patient and the doctor. And that's called asynchronous telehealth. Asynchronous telehealth is becoming more and more popular because it's so convenient for the patient and for the doctor, because you don't have to find a time where both of you are available at the exact same time to interact. Instead, the patient can interact leisurely at a time when they have the time and ability to get on their computer or their phone and ask the questions or answer the questions to the doctor or fill out the questionnaire. The doctor can find time in between things to take care of patients, and so doesn't have to set aside a specific block of time that's also convenient for the patient. So you can see that asynchronous telehealth, where their interaction isn't happening real time, is much more convenient. And since it's much more convenient, it's becoming more and more popular. The question is it safe? It's absolutely safe for the right situation. And again, hormone replacement therapy is the perfect situation for asynchronous telehealth because questions and answers can happen. It's not an emergency. So if there's a delay of a few hours or even a day, Someone isn't going to get hurt because they've got an appendicitis that's not being treated or something. So it's very safe to do it this way. And so we use asynchronous telehealth where we're allowed to. Each state has different rules, but where the states allow us, we use asynchronous telehealth because I think it's a very safe way of providing this type of healthcare, and it's very convenient both for the patient and for the doctor. And that means, quite honestly, we can pay the doctors less because it's so much more convenient for them, and that keeps costs down, and we can provide this at a very reasonable price, as opposed to an office situation where you have the overhead of an office, you've got a front office person, you have a back office person, you have to hire janitorial staff, you have to rent a building. Instead, with asynchronous telehealth, the doctor can do this just over the computer. You can do it from your home. It's more convenient for you, more convenient for the doctor. There isn't all the overhead, and that keeps costs down. So that's the way to really take advantage of telehealth. Telehealth is a great way to get appropriate healthcare that's non-emergency or isn't even super urgent, can safely be done in an asynchronous way, and that keeps costs down. It makes things less expensive for you, and it lets us provide everything that you need from the privacy of your own home.